Welcome to our channel, $1 Million Made Easy. On this channel, we love to run numbers for people, and what we do is use the actual historical returns for the S&P 500 for the last 100 years, which includes the depression years. We project ahead what similar returns might do for you in the future. They won't be identical, and the resulting numbers are simply a possible range of what may happen in the future. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a numbers guy, but I love to create spreadsheets to maybe help you with your planning. So in this video, we're going to look at somebody looking at the withdrawal stage. And if I'm going to run numbers for you, just give me these criteria, like this individual: that your beginning balance, your monthly withdrawal, and your Social Security amount a year to start if you have that, and if you have a pension, what that amount is and when to start. And we're just going to go ahead and run the numbers for this individual. Let me read exactly what he said here. Question for you is a way to do the math on if I retire at age 60 with $3.5 million, so that's the beginning balance, $3.5 million. And as I always say on these videos, everybody's numbers are different. So uh, feel free to give me your numbers and I will run them. He says if I withdraw 4% for living expenses, if I died 25 years later at age 85, how much money would there be to leave to my children and grandchildren? Love the channel. Thank you for your video. So here's somebody who wants to look out for kids and grandkids, which is awesome. So we're going to look at, see if we can get close to, okay, 3.94%. That'd be 11,500 a month on this 3.5 million. But we're going to go ahead and give him a 3% COLA, so that's going to maybe keep up with inflation. So he's going to take out 11,500 the first year and then going down through here. We're also not going to leave it all in the S&P 500. He didn't ask me to do this, but I think it's wise not to leave all your money, just in case you'd run into a depression type scenario. I usually just run it at 70-30, 70% staying in the S&P 500 and 30% going over to some bucket over here. We just got that paying 3%. So in other words, 70% staying in the S&P so it can grow when the market does come back in case we do have some down years. But if we do have down years, you want a cash reserve account so you're not selling low. So when you're taking these kind of monies out, you don't want to knock the S&P 500 down even faster. So you want it coming out of a cash reserve account. So we're going to go ahead and run the numbers. And what we do on this channel is run it for every single year. Now, right now we have 1924 numbers showing, and he asked where he'd be in 25 years. Well, there's right here, he'd have 8,660,000 left, more than twice what he started with. Again, this is with the 4% or close to it. Actually, I'll make it 4.03. So that'd be 11,750 a month. Again, 70-30 split, 3% COLA. And we're going to do it for every single year because, like I said, I can go down through here and pick any of these years and we see where you might be. If you did it in 1931, you'd be out of money. You'd have $10 million after 25 years. But anyway, let's go ahead and update this. I won't be looking over here. I don't have a 25-year column, but you can get some idea by looking at the 20-year column and the 30-year column. This is how much is left after each of these time periods, taking out this much with this balance with COLAs and a 70-30 split. Hopefully that makes sense. So it looks like in every single case, you would have money left after 20 years. The only time you even get close to running out of money was 1929, and that was right here. You'd be down to 159,000. Again, what does it take to have numbers like 1929? Basically, this is a depression, folks. 4 down years, down 35. So if for some reason the next in the next 25 years we have something like this going on, especially initially, they call that sequence of return risk. If starting next year, if he retires now, starting next year, and had these 4 down years, then it would knock it down, but you'd still have money. You'd probably run, let's see when you'd actually be running out of money. You'd be running out of money just over 20 years. You'd be down 159. Also in 1930, you'd be running out of money in 29 years. So again, it'd be one less year for that depression type year. But every other scenario, look at these numbers, folks. 82% of the time, you'd have over 5 million. I want you to notice as these numbers go up. In other words, it's every one of these is going up. The only ones that aren't going up, I got highlighted in yellow. If they're highlighted in yellow, that means they're less than the the previous 10-year period. You don't see any other yellows going down through here. See it? Oh, you got a couple right there, 1955, 1966, but you don't see any. I don't see any in the 30-year column anyway. So what that tells me is almost every scenario, you're going to be just fine going from the 20th year to the 30th year, except in 1929 and 1930. Even these ones that we just saw in 1955, look how they came back. It was 6 million down to 5 million and went back up to 18 million. I just wanted to run the numbers for this individual, for this grandpa that's concerned about his kids and grandkids, and he's going to be able to, have a nice sum to live on, but he's going to leave a lot to his grandchildren. Again, what's he going to leave? It'd be hard to say because I don't have this figured out for every 25-year period. But if I just start clicking on some of these, you can see some of these huge numbers. 1941, you'd have $41 million after 20, if the returns were like 1941. One other year I want to check on is the year 2000 because that's the one other year that we had some really problematic times. You'd be down to $1.442 million. Why am I picking year 2000? Because that was the other bad decade in the last 100 years where you had 4 down years in a decade as opposed to you had 6 down years here, 3 in the 1940s. But this one right here can be problematic at times, but it looks like in this case, uh, each sale of 1.442 million. If we had returns like the year 2000, where we had this 3 down years initially, which knocked the market down, it did come back really nicely. Then it got knocked down 37%. So in this case, he's got less than half after 20 years that he could leave to his kids and grandkids. But that again, that's rare. That doesn't happen very often in almost every case. Look at these 97.2% of the time in a 30-year period you'd still have over $3 million. Remember, he's starting out with 3.5 million. 95% of the time, we'd actually have more than 5 million and more than 10 million. That's in the 30-year column here. But that's what he wanted me to do, run numbers for him. That's what we do on this channel. Please consider subscribing to this channel. Tell your friends about this channel. Let them know there's a channel out there that'll run numbers for them, both in the we saw the withdrawal stage here, but we also do it in the accumulation stage when you're building your nest egg to see what you might have based on these kind of returns. But that's what we do on this channel. Please like the videos, share them. Thanks for watching, and just let people know about this channel.